Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for amazing content. Let's get started. The 1972 United States 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the Lincoln cent or simply the penny, holds an important place in American numismatic history. It belongs to the series of Lincoln cents that began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who led the nation during the Civil War and worked to abolish slavery. By 1972, the Lincoln cent had already been in continuous production for over 6 decades, and the design was widely familiar to millions of Americans. The coin's production in 1972 took place at multiple U.S. Mint facilities, and it continues to be a coin of interest for collectors due to its historical context, production varieties, and condition-based value. On the obverse side, front, of the 1972 penny, we see the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. This portrait was originally designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner in 1909, and it has remained on the U.S. 1-cent coin longer than any other coin design in American history. Above Lincoln's head, the motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed, a national motto adopted on coins beginning in the mid-19th century. To the left of Lincoln's portrait, the word, "Liberty," appears, symbolizing the core value of the nation. To the right, the date, 1972, is minted, which not only identifies the year of production but also allows collectors to trace the coin's historical and economic backdrop. Some 1972 pennies also feature a mint mark just below the date, which indicates where the coin was struck. No mint mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. Turning to the reverse side, back, of the coin, we find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design replaced the original, wheat years, reverse used from 1909 to 1958. The memorial design was created by Frank Gasparo, who at the time was the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. At the top of the reverse is the legend, United States of America, beneath which is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. At the bottom of the coin, the denomination is clearly spelled out, 1 cent. Interestingly, with careful examination of the coin, one can even see the tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln seated inside the memorial, making this coin one of the few U.S. coins to feature the same person on both the obverse and reverse. In terms of composition, the 1972 penny was still being minted in its traditional bronze alloy, which was composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Each coin weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. This high copper content gives the coin its distinctive reddish-brown appearance when freshly struck. Over time, depending on circulation and storage conditions, the surface may darken to a brown tone or develop attractive toning that can sometimes increase collector interest. The switch from mostly copper pennies would not happen until 1982, when the mint transitioned to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper costs. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1972 Lincoln cent is the existence of varieties and errors, which attract collectors and can significantly raise a coin's value. The most famous is the 1972 double die obverse DDO, where the inscriptions on the obverse side, such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1972, appear double due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This variety is considered one of the most dramatic double dies in the Lincoln cent series and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. There are also minor double die varieties, along with common mint errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, and die cracks, which are highly collectible in numismatic circles. From a historical perspective, the year 1972 in America was a period of transition and challenge. President Richard Nixon was in office, the Vietnam War was ongoing, and the U.S. was experiencing both political and economic tensions. The penny of this year circulated widely, serving as a reminder of the nation's heritage while also playing its role in everyday commerce. Although worth only a cent in face value, it symbolized the economic system of the country, where even the smallest unit of currency was important in daily transactions. For many Americans at the time, the penny was a coin commonly found in pockets, purses, and cash registers, often overlooked but always present. In terms of mintage numbers, the 1972 Lincoln cent was produced in huge quantities. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 2.9 billion coins without a mint mark. The Denver Mint contributed more than 2.6 billion pennies marked with AD, and the San Francisco Mint produced 376 million proof coins marked with an S, many of which were specially made for collectors. These staggering numbers show how essential the penny was in circulation during the early 1970s. However, even though billions were made, coins with high-grade preservation or rare varieties remain in demand among collectors. Today, the value of a 1972 penny depends heavily on its condition, mint mark, and whether it has any errors or varieties. A common circulated 1972 penny usually holds only face value or slightly more, perhaps 2 to 5 cents for a collector looking to fill a coin album. However, an uncirculated example with a strong red luster can fetch several dollars, and the rare double die obverse variety can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Proof coins from San Francisco, with their mirror-like surfaces, are also highly collectible and command higher premiums. In conclusion, the 1972 1-cent United States of America coin is much more than just a small piece of bronze. It is a continuation of the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, a reflection of American history, and a link to the economic and cultural fabric of the early 1970s. While billions were struck, its value to collectors lies in details like mint marks, condition, and varieties, especially the famous double die. For numismatists, the 1972 penny represents a blend of artistry, history, and rarity that keeps the humble 1-cent coin alive in the hearts of coin enthusiasts across the world.